And now it's time for everyone's favorite game show. Dr. Kenton wakes up. In the cup today is Signature Select Breakfast Blend with Coffeemate. It's delicious. As some of you might know, I'm a college professor. That's my day job. I try very carefully not to include political commentary in anything I do in the classroom or for any official purpose. However, I also try to not include political commentary in anything I do that's posted publicly from my private accounts because college professors, school teachers, principals of schools, university staff, especially administrative staff, they don't really, they in some ways forfeit their individual rights, individual freedoms when they take that job, being a school principal or whatever, school teacher, professor, dean, chairperson, whatever. Everything they do gets colored back onto their day job. So if I express an unpopular political opinion from my personal Facebook page, pretty soon that's something that gets reported or shown forward not as from Jeff Kenton, private citizen, but Jeff Kenton, employee of, whatever, state university. And I would hesitate to claim that in many other realms of endeavor, for example, if I were to be arrested for drunk driving as a college professor, it probably wouldn't mean as much as if I was a K 12 school teacher, K 12 principal, because those those jobs, there's like a moral purity clause. If you do something that gets your name in the paper, pretty soon every parent at the school is going to call for you to be removed. Made a mistake one night, got behind the wheel of a car, didn't hurt anybody, but got arrested for operating while intoxicated. Pretty soon now, losing my job as a fill in the blank teacher at a fill in the blank school because parents don't want teachers that have those kinds of problems interacting with their kids. And that's, if it was a true problem, I could understand. But a singleton, where I'm going with this is that a university system shouldn't have to remind its faculty members to be less politically insightful, inciting, inciting violence or celebrating violence or whatever. That's that's fine when you're talking to a professor as a professional role. Like if a professor said in class, I'm glad that that guy was injured, or I'm glad that guy was in an accident, or whatever. That's improper in class. And I would say, using my own moral measuring stick, you probably wouldn't want to post anything like that online anyway. But if you did, you would be within your rights to free expression to say whatever you want about it as a private citizen. It's just that the line between private citizen and public employee really gets fuzzy, and people like to feel like they can get somebody fired for having an unpopular opinion. Now, I've had conversations with a guy that I work with who feels like all college campuses are hostile toward conservative thought, and that individuals who hold conservative viewpoints have expressed to him their willingness to keep those viewpoints quiet because they fear that they'll have their job, that they'll lose their job if they share them more broadly. All I can say about that is that perhaps the conversation should happen where it should be clear as day what's okay to say when you're on your private social media, what's very inappropriate to say from your uh, university or school related function. That conversation needs to be had. My levels of priority are starting to clear up. At the very top, someone's general humanity, basic humanity. Then everybody's inherent equality as humans. And then gender equality. A job does not require a man. A job does not require a woman. Any job that you can classify as men are better at that or women are better at that is probably due to lack of training, lack of preparation. There are some biological functions that only women and only men can do, but beyond those, let's be serious, people. And in light of that, choosing this word today to start, Let's see if this word counts as a word. A 4 today. Well, think about what I said. I would also suggest that when interacting with people on a personal level, that you maybe keep in mind what it is they've said about certain topics. For example, it's been fairly surprising and shocking to see some of my friends expressing angry, violent opinions. I didn't believe that those people harbored those kinds of beliefs. But you need to pay attention. Pay attention, remember. Forgive, but remember. Because that kind of information is useful to keep and have. All right, then. It's a little more of a serious one this day, but nevertheless. Oh, today is the penultimate day of September 10th. As you know, each month has a sequence of 7 days that their names include the suffix "teenth" from 13th to 19th. Today's the 18th, which is the penultimate day. Each of those days and dates has a invocation for the day. For the 19th, or sorry, for the 18th, the invocation is to set an intention for the next 30 days. And the Thursday intention is to branch out, try something new. Think about or consider doing something new before the next 30 days is up. All right. Love you. Bye.